like I'm looking at
All right, guys, we're here, episode 5 of Kicking Knowledge. I'm Walter,
And I'm Warner.
and we got our special guest here, someone very important to us. We're here in Totawa, New Jersey, Gold's Gym, and our special guest here, Tone Chatman. Tone Chat, all the above.
All
I
the
don't know
above.
what you like to be called, but
Tone.
all
I'm
the
used to
above.
everything, so it doesn't really matter. Big head, small head. What's up, fellas?
Thanks for coming down.
Thank you for
Well,
meeting
thanks for
us,
having me.
man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
No,
Thanks for
I
having me.
appreciate your time coming up with like sitting down with us and talking sneakers. So we're gonna talk sneakers. As you can see, we got a lot of sneakers to go over. We're gonna talk about a little bit about him, a little about what type of training he does and what he likes to wear. Clearly, he has a variety of them, but we'll get right to it. So basically, we want to start off. What we typically start off is. How'd you get into the fitness? How'd you get into all this?
I kind of been around sports my whole life. My brother played sports. My father was in the Navy, so he always kept us some kind of healthy. Like, he kept us moving as far as if it was, his disciplinary track was physical labor, I want to say. He would make us go cut the grass. He would make us do like things that he knew we hated. But like we hated that kind of stuff. But what really kept me in was once I was younger, I had childhood asthma. So I got really, really big, gained a bunch of weight. I was 7th grade, I was 200 pounds. So I was 4'11", 200. I remember that day if it was yesterday. So once I got to high school, I was like, I'm gonna go play football, I'm gonna go play basketball. I'm gonna try to do everything everyone told me I couldn't do. So as I progressed, I kept up with football. I ended up doing track and field. I fell in love with throwing jab and stuff like that. So that came along. Went off to college, played sports. I did track there at Stockton, and then I suffered my first injury. My first injury, I tore my trapezius muscle, my right trap. So no more javelin throwing. So
That's small. Yeah.
it was kind of weird. Like I got my license taken away from me. I wasn't able to do a lot of things. Like, I couldn't turn to the right. Like, just turning in general hurt. So it was one of them things. Like, I sat around, just ate, got fat, got to the biggest I've ever been. I was 247 at my heaviest, and I was out of shape. But my junior year of college, I joined the police academy. I got a job at the police department down in Wildwood, and from there, I went to the police academy. I went from 245 to 189. AKA the smallest I've ever been in my adult life, 189. So literally, like, you see pictures of me, you wouldn't believe it was really me because everyone was used to seeing me as big and out of shape. But as being big, I was always active. I always played sports no matter what. Yeah. But once I got that big, I was like out of shape. I couldn't do anything, and then did that, lost weight, and I was like, I'm never, ever, ever getting that big ever again. Yeah. Well, I get to that part when I did, but that was 2009. I got out of the academy in July. From there, moved forward, did my first, summer and everything down in Wildwood. Later on that year, right after my birthday, I was like, I had a friend, a coworker that he's like, hey, me and my boy work out like 4 o'clock in the morning. I was like, 4 o'clock? I'm never going to the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning ever in my life. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, I sleep them times. I wake up at 8. Like, I'm not trying to be up 4 hours early. But fast forward, one day I was like, you know what? It kept bugging me. Like, hey, you got a nice build. Like, you should start working out. You should work out. And then one day I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pop up on him at this gym. That's the very first day I met Big Ty. So it was like December 29th, maybe. I'm gonna say something like that. So ever since then, we started our whole little Go Hard campaign. Like, we just made it a brotherhood. It wasn't about working out anymore. But fast forward that timetable, Ty won the athlete search. Yeah. It was big. I was with him the day that Andy and them called him. He got the email saying that he won. Like, that was big. It was during one of our regular rituals. When I usually sit in the parking lot, chop it up, get ready for the workout. But I want to say 2009, I want to spearhead that as being my exact date of me starting my fitness journey. Yeah. But what I was saying was, I've been up to 237 in solid shape. I've been that high. So I was always about trying to figure out my body. what works for me, what doesn't. So in shape, on quotes on that, was 237, lowest 189.
That's
so
crazy.
I'm a natural 200 pounder. Without working out or anything, I sit around 205.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So basically, Big Ty's the one that pushed you to your fitness too as well. He kind of was like
The segue.
He was, I wouldn't say he was a segue, he was actually my introduction. Like I knew who, my cousin was into martial arts and bodybuilding really, really big, so I knew who the Ronnie Colemans were, the Jay Cutlers,
gotcha.
the Lee Haneys, you know, the Frank Zanes, like I knew who all these guys were, but never in my mind that I think I can work out like they did.
Yeah.
So I would say Big Ty is actually the one whose arrow I jumped on when we spearheaded through this fitness industry, because he always worked out. I actually kind of knew Ty a little from college. We went to the same college, and he was like the man, the myth, the legend around campus. Like everyone was like, yeah, this guy that used to go here, Ty, like he could dunk, he's 5'10", but he can do windmills, he can do. So I knew of Ty from that. I've only physically seen him like once or twice at this time, and then after that, it was just like he became one of my brothers.
That's good. I love man, Big Ty. Much love to him.
Shout out to Big Ty.
Shout out to Big Ty.
Big Ty.
Little Ty.
You So then, what kind of training do you do after you picked up all that stuff there?
So I want to say, power building is like the new phrase of it. I've done everything from just CrossFit. Actually, when I started to get ready for when I joined the military, CrossFit was one of the big parts. Like I CrossFit, bodybuild, and I did extreme cardio. I did a lot of HIIT
hybrid training.
So I'm more of a hybrid athlete. Most people don't look at it that way because I'm a lot larger than most people. I'm not like the most shredded guy, but I'm not the smallest guy neither. But I still go out and run. Like I just ran a half marathon back in October. I still could go out and run. I still play basketball regularly. I do a lot of powerlifting style working out, but I also do a lot of bodybuilding style working out. I have a lot of muscle endurance. I really like to push my muscle all the way up to the max every workout that I can. It sucks because some days I might not be able to hit what I thought I can, but that's the mental game that comes with it.
Of course, 100%.
That's the
So I would call myself more of a hybrid type of style working out. Definitely with Nate doing more of the stuff that he does.
Yeah.
Me and him train a lot when me and Ty aren't working out. So me and Nate will actually go and do more of his style of working out, pushing sleds. Not only that, I coach football, so I got to still be able to move and compete with them guys out there that are just fresh and getting their testosterone levels going.
That's the main thing, man. So we talked about what your type of training do. So now we're gonna get into the sneakers here.
The sneakers.
So typically, I was gonna ask what's your favorite band, what kind of shoe you look for, but typically we got variety right in front of us.
Well, as you can see, I am a Nike-aholic.
Yeah. Through and throughout.
I think of shoes. Now that I'm older, shoes is what appeals more to me.
Yeah.
You know, whatever I feel I like, that's what I do. But growing up where I did in South Jersey, it's kind of like, you guys ever see Friday Night Lights?
Yeah.
You know how Booby talked about the Nikes?
Yeah.
That's like a staple of the black community. If you don't got Nikes, you're not it. Like, it's just one of them things. Like, so in our minds, Jordan was the god of all sports. Nike was just, I would just say in general, Nike was the shoe of the urban community. Like anybody inner city, it was just Nikes.
Yeah.
You had Reeboks on, you had this, that, but very few people like didn't wear Nike. So Nike has always been my go-to brand, no matter what, when it came to sports and everything. But I always fell in love with sneakers like certain Reeboks, like the Iversons or the Shaqs, you know, the Sean Kemps. Certain Adidas I always like shell toes. But Adidas is definitely starting to, you know, build themselves up as a sports company. You know, before it was just Nike had the market so flooded that it was ridiculous. Like Adidas and now Puma's coming up. You know, Converse was like high at one point, then they just disappeared. Like, so it's like, for me, it's more about what I appeal to. But for training, like these shoes here are just more of my leisure walk around shoes besides the Kobe's. But it's all about what I just desire. Like I'm a very basic guy. As you see, most of my colors are black and white, but I wear mostly all black anyway. So any shoe doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Like, but if I'm wearing Vans or, you know, I have a crap ton of Vans, but I would just say for the most part, Nike is the forefront of my brand choice. But that's changing slowly.
So what do you like? And point out a couple of those shoes. Like, which one's your favorite? I know it's a little tough. But we got some serious sneakers up here. Like, go, you don't have to go crazy with it, but just for our viewers, that we're typically more on we're doing the trainers, the fitness side, but you know we're huge into sneakers. This is why we're so excited to have you on here, because you're one of the true sneakerheads that we have on the show. It's actually our first one. So like point out like some of them that we have in front here.
I won't call myself a sneakerhead. I'm just a sneaker liker.
Sneaker liker.
Like I no, really. I would say it because I don't want to take away and put myself in that category of the sneakerhead and sneaker enthusiast.
Yeah,
the guys that have been doing this for multiple years. I've been doing this for a while. At one point I was up to closer to 500 pair of sneakers, but I have a wedding to pay for, so I got I liquidated myself a lot. So, but
I wasn't really happy with, but you know.
But no, actually, I was happy with it because I got tired of seeing shoes go to waste. And that's just on my behalf. I got to the point where it was like, if I have 470 pair of shoes, but I literally wore these Vans almost every day, you know, for a whole year. Just these two of my black ones, you know, so it was just to the point where it was just shoes just started going bad, and like now that I look at it, like I should have kept them, but you know, I have other priorities in my life now than shoes. But like the segue into like these type of shoes, what really pushed me into like actually waiting in line stuff was my cousin Daryl. My cousin Daryl's he's actually the very first sneakerhead I've ever known. He's the same age as me, but he just was that kid that worked 2-3 jobs when we were in high school illegally and would just go buy sneakers. Like, I know this guy has every Kobe sneaker created. He has like almost every Jordan from 2008 to 1998 on up. Like, damn. Even his shoe collection is one of the vast. Like, they did an article on him back when we were out there. I'm gonna say we were like really? High school. Like, this when he just broke 365 pair of shoes. And the caption of the article was, the kid that can wear one shoe every day of the year.
Oh, that's dope.
You know, it was like, he was like one of the first guys that got me into thinking about sneakers. You know, like he was just, you see the kid and you be like, oh man, like he's just a normal guy, but little do you know, this guy has the vast knowledge of sneakers. Like he's been to, you know, Washington to go to the headquarters. He goes and builds sneakers. Like he's that kind of. So I don't want to take away from guys like that actually are into the dirt of it and say I'm a sneakerhead. I would say I'm a sneaker liker.
That's a good. I respect that.
You know,
I respect that.
But
now that you want to put it down that way, I respect that.
So to say like for my favorite sneakers out of this section I have, man, I would definitely go with. Damn, this is a hard one. I want to say
I would have trouble too.
The Concord series like were at one point like mentally I thought was my favorite sneaker, and as I got older, and it has to be a Space Jam to me, simply because I remember the movie. I remember him wearing the 9s playing in the gym, and then you know the 11s popped out. But it was one of them things like that just holds a special place in my heart for just that age. I was in I think 3rd or 4th grade when that movie came out, so I remember seeing them shoes. Like one day I'm gonna have them, and I've had multiple pairs of them, but I just remember that. But then it's so hard. I would probably say also after them will probably be the Black Cement 3s.
Yeah, these.
Since for like off camera when we talked about what saved Jordan with saying with Nike. You know,
this was the first with the elephant print.
Yeah, Tinker Hatfield was the first guy. He was the first guy to touch Jordan since the 1s and 2s. So you can see this vast difference between, I didn't bring a pair of 2s, the 1s, which has that dunk-esque feel. And then you have the Jordan 2s would look totally different. And then you see the 3s and you see the 4s. I didn't bring a pair of 5s. But the 5, like Tinker Hatfield took that Jordan game and the shoe game to a whole nother world. You know, so it was, I would say the Space Jams or Cement 3s for me.
Yeah, he definitely broke barriers with this one. Saving Jordan, going from until 33 pairs now with Jordan, and him coming up with the bubble. A special unboxing with Tone here.
So I ordered these. I was lucked out with Nike, and I ordered these randomly, like just seeing like maybe I'll win, maybe I won't. I still have my old pair, so actually I'll let you guys open it for me. Okay. It hasn't been opened yet, so.
Yo, this is crazy.
Just piece of tape. You rip it off. Compared to the last Concord, which came in the double sleeve with the extra overhang.
Like the drawer one, like a drawer type of box.
So this is actually the new Concord.
Shit. Look at that icy sole on it. Look at that. And as you can see, he wears this
I actually one of the few guys that actually wear my shoes. So
like that's like, oh my gosh,
You can tell by which one's the older one and the newer one by his patent leather. It sits a little bit higher versus this one's a little bit lower. So you know this is the older style pair and this is the new one, the new 2018.
And so people were pretty upset with that one, which I think is still a nice shoe.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm thinking about getting these, cleaned up. Like these are my beaters. I wear them pretty often. But like out of all my sneakers, like I said to y'all on camera, this like has a unique smell. It doesn't smell bad, but it just smells like a purse. You can really smell like when you walk in my closet and like actually open when the room is like pretty warm.
Yeah.
Like you just open the box, like, whoa, these sneakers smell brand new.
That's crazy.
It was weird that I thought that actually happened.
So you can see some of the differences here, even though it looks pretty similar, I guess. And cool looking is just you can never go wrong with the Nike Air in the back. But those are the two differences between the fours there. And then you got
So
Space Jams.
Now we saw a couple of like your lifestyle shoes and stuff like that. Well, like when you for going back to the fitness side, now we saw the lifestyle and then to the fitness. What sneakers do you wear on the fitness side? Like,
Fitness. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I've probably worked out in half of these shoes also.
Okay.
So I can say that for my everyday workout shoe, we all call it Van Gang. I'm usually wearing Vans. Leg day, my back days, I'm doing legs. If I'm just running about, like I have these right here, the Huarache NM.
Yeah, these
stands for the natural movement. I like Huaraches and I like a cross training shoes type style because I never know what I'm gonna do. If I'm popping up with Nate, I might be pushing sleds. I'm by myself. If I'm by myself, I'm working out with Kyle or something. I'm doing something, so I need something for a little support, something that can do a little everything. If I'm not wearing them, I'm like working out wise. I'm all about comfort. I would rather my body hurt instead of my feet hurt at one point because I feel like you can't get an adequate workout in if your feet are bothering me. So like Vans don't bother me. Most people cry and complain about how flat they are and stuff like that. But luckily they are perfect for me. I can do everything.
Too.
Yeah, so I have a really high arch. So with me not being flat foot, I don't get the bother and that.
Gotcha.
So a lot of flat feet people complain, flat-footed people complain that they don't have the support. But I have a really high arch, so these support me really well. If I'm playing basketball, my go-to sneakers are Kobe 8. They were actually the first type of shoe that got me into actually low-top basketball shoes. I was always wearing, like I have Huarache 2K4s, which were a Kobe shoe also, but they high top with straps. So I had really bad ankles when I was younger. But someone was telling me like, hey, with these Kobe 8s, they developed something like the anti-roll technology. Like Kobe was like one of the first basketball players that would be like, I'm wearing low-top sneakers.
Yeah, exactly.
So the anti-roll that they have in these shoes, and I just thought it was amazing. Like they have like these little lips on the side. Like people don't think they play a lot, but they actually really, really do. I'm not a foot dragger, so it doesn't, that doesn't affect me as far as like cutting and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
But they're just a comfortable shoe. I have multiple pair of Kobe 8s. I have 9s, 10s, and 11s. Kobe 8's my go-to basketball shoe when I'm going to go play basketball. I have played in Jordans. I feel like Jordan has gotten away from its essence of comfort.
Oh yeah, of course.
As comfort as a sport shoe. Now it's just a fashion shoe.
Yeah.
So I rarely put them on. I wore these twice. Once as leisure, and I wore these as basketball. I wore these as basketball once. Very comfortable shoe. I didn't feel like they did justice as far as an indoor shoe, but outdoor I heard they've done very well. But I believe it was Jordan 28 stole the glove idea from the Gary Payton.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
So
I wouldn't be surprised.
These are very comfortable, very supportive. I played basketball actually in my Shacks.
Did you really?
Yeah, they actually did very well. There's a lot of padding, a lot of support there.
The top portion.
Yeah, everything. So they're overall shoe, but when it comes to like me actually just getting a workout in, kind of really doesn't matter to me. I know a lot of people like to wear like their no-bull shoes and stuff like that. But for me, like I said, I never know where I go in. I kind of make my workouts up on the fly. Like literally, if I go, I've been even to the gym in my work boots. Like it's just like it all depends on. So I'm really over comfort. So I will pick a shoe. Mostly I'm wearing my NMs. I'm wearing a pair of sock darts or a pair of Roshis. They're my 3 just everyday wear leisure shoe.
Cycle going.
Yeah. So them 3, I wear them 3 on a random
And then
So-
when you do the marathons and stuff like that, which sneakers do you wear?
Actually, so I started running in Nikes. Believe it or not, that's what was my thing.
What Nikes were you running with?
I was running. First, I started off in. I have a pair of Lunar Epics.
Okay.
So they're a really nice shoe. They're a sock based shoe. They wanted to go with that really element of the natural running and stuff like that. So the laces are there, which I really don't understand why they're really there, but they're there, and then it has an extended sock on it. Very comfortable shoe. But what I realized when I was getting up to the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mile range, they weren't built for that.
Yeah,
They were built for your guys are going to go leisure run through the trails or go to the track and actually get some sprint work in. So I actually went over to Road Runners, and I talked to one of my runner friends. It was like, get a pair of Brooks, get a pair of Brooks. Brooks is Saucony. So I was like, all right, cool. So I went in there and tried a bunch of them. I didn't like how the Sauconys felt too much, but the Brooks actually ended up getting the Rebel 2s.
I like that colorway so a lot.
Colorway's nice.
I actually hate this colorway.
Really?
I don't like this colorway because, like I said, I'm a very subtle guy.
Gotcha.
But it didn't bother me really too much with the shoe.
And
But-
you say off camera there's custom inserts in there too, right?
Yes, I have actually custom inserts that I got done at Roadrunners. They have
Yes,
this whole,
the one in Jersey, right?
they have one in they have multiple in Jersey, but the
Like,
one
they have
like
a
not too far
machine
from
and
here.
everything
Yeah.
to-
So
yeah.
what happens is you go on a road run. I'll give you a quick process. You go in, you talk about what shoes you want, whatever. Simple as that. They say, hey, take your shoes off. All right. So you go in there and you stay inside this machine, and it takes a 360 video of your feet.
Exactly.
And like you have no idea what it's doing, but it's just literally like lights, and it's going like this. Take the photo, and then the guy who's running, and he'll talk to you about things. Like, hey, you got a high arch here, this arch is higher, so it's actually measuring and everything. Then he's like, hey, get on the treadmill. So you get on the treadmill when, of course, with socks on again. You start off as a walk, and then you go for a light jog. And there's a camera behind you, and it watches the drop of your ankles.
That's crazy.
So I didn't realize, but my right foot has, both my arches really high, but I am a little lighter on the right foot than I am on the left foot.
Okay.
So I actually have a little more arch drop in that foot. And then after that goes through, you actually stand on this pad. And you take these inserts and they put in they call it an oven. They put in an oven. You got this pad and it measure actually like all the imprint of your foot.
Gotcha.
After that, he slides the inserts under, you stand on there, and he'll like measure and roll your foot and everything. And I would say this is single-handedly the best investment that I ever got.
Now, how much was that?
So this process was actually fairly cheap. I believe the pads themselves were like $70 maybe.
That's not bad.
So this is like a custom insole. You go to Walmart or wherever and buy insoles, you're gonna pay $40-$50.
Easily.
And they're generic.
Yeah.
You go get this, and this is everyday wear if you want to. The great thing about this is also they help build your arches. So I have my right one's a little lower, so I wear this. At first it was mostly when I ran. I wanted to get my everything good for when I ran. So you wear it for part-time, and then once you get used to them, you wear them full-time. Because your feet will be sore. It's just like working anything else out.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but the good thing is, but I say this is definitely by far saved me. And I noticed the difference when I ran with these than when I ran without them. So when I go on my runs, I make sure I throw them in them. I can't put them in all my running shoes because these are actually a lot bigger than, they're almost a size and a half bigger than most of my shoes.
Yeah, because you tell them what you want, and then they fit it with that shoe.
They fit it, but also I was told always get my running shoes bigger because for once you get distance and your feet expand. So you want room, you don't want your foot button up and like, I like to wear my leisure shoes and everything and walk around shoes as close to true to fit as possible. I only go about a half a size up. I'm a 10, I usually get a 10 and a half and everything. And plus I wear Nike Elite socks, so they got the thick toes. So that's why I always wear my shoes a little bigger. But my running shoes actually, I believe them are 11 and a half.
Yeah.
He told me get them a size and a half bigger, and I realized after I ran why, because my feet, as most people you see that run marathon, half marathon, they toenails fall off, stuff like that. But with them, I didn't have as many foot problems as I thought I would if I had my other shoe on.
And the other ones. And you can see it on that insole. You can actually see how high of an arch you have.
Yeah.
On the insole.
Compared to like a normal insole that
which
shoe.
is really cool. But Warren and I were actually thinking about we're gonna try to set up with Roadrunner Sports.
You just actually walk in. You walk in and
No,
actually
because
go.
me and my
we're gonna-
girlfriend went there, and then is not like a finish line.
Yeah.
Nope.
You have to sit with a guy. They
guy
have the
that's
tablet and
specialist.
everything. It's all special.
It's about a 45-minute process,
Easy.
and I liked it because it was a one-on-one.
Yes.
You know, it was a one-on-one thing. It wasn't one guy doing one doing the other, and one guy did everything for me.
Yeah, we're gonna set something up so we can actually show you the process on how it goes. So we're probably gonna film there, so we can, like Warner says, see the step-by-step process of how the Roadrunner does it, which I think would be awesome, so everyone can see it.
Definitely nice and worth it.
Yeah.
It's just another tool to help you figure out what you need to get as a sneaker when you're working out or doing any marathons and stuff like that.
And the good thing is, like, also, one of the best warranties that they give there is, the good thing with them is, like, if I didn't like the shoe 3 months after I bought it, I could take it right back. Wear it as much as I want, whatever. And
It's a yearly subscription.
Yeah, it was worth, I think it was like $100, and it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
So each shoe you get a discount, of course, it's that and the third, but each shoe, like, I had New Balance ones, and I wore them for like 3 days, and I didn't really like how they felt. To me, I am a close foot runner, so I run close, you know, and the platform on that shoe was a lot bigger, so I kept rubbing shoes. So it was one of them things, like, the Brooks just sat perfectly better with me.
Yeah, it's a really nice shoe.
So yeah, like, I have no doubt working out in any pair of shoes that I have on, but I kind of stay around with the Roshis, anything with comfort, and that's an all-purpose shoe I kind of work out in because, like I said, I never know what I'm getting myself into.
That's this is nice though.
So I know, like, so you know we're into sneakers and stuff like that, and like you see now in the fashion industry that they're using like runners and stuff. Like sneakers are the fashion statement now. Like, what do you think about that? Like, what's your thoughts about that?
Honestly, to each his own. I'm big, like I said before, I'm big on comfort. Comfort to me is number one overall for everything. I can't sit here and have a diligent conversation with you guys if my feet are aching if I'm worrying about that. If you can shut that pain out, you know, cool, but I can't shut that pain out.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that they're using like runners to advertise shoes, but that's not giving you the overall performance or the durability of what these shoes really are. Like we expressed with the Jordan. Like everyone knows Jordan from playing basketball.
Yeah.
But truth be told, the Team Jordan shoes are better basketball shoes than the actual retros.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's cool that they're marketing them that way, but like I think like Yeezy is doing a great thing with his shoes where they're actually, I know people that train and like they're 700s.
Yeah.
You know, I know people that actually run in like their Yeezys like and stuff like that for most of like the running looking shoes. So I don't own a pair anymore, but the materials have always been good. So I think if they're going to market it that way, they should be more presented that way.
Mm-hmm.
So for the trainers that are going through it, if you're not going to use them for every workout possibly you can, I don't think that you should be wearing them.
Yeah.
Like I can't, like, it's weird, but like I said, to each his own. Like I'm just different than most people.
We just find it interesting because it's like these sneakers are meant to be worked out in, but you see them in a suit, like people wearing these shoes.
Perfect example. I can wear sneakers with my suit type lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like again, to each his own.
Yeah.
I'll probably, if I'm gonna throw a suit, I'm probably gonna throw a dress.
I know, it's
shoes
just
on.
like, I always bring this up, but when I saw like one of the sneaker videos, it's like Maria Sharapova, the tennis player, she just says that she's happy that the sneakers are coming into the fashion style because now she can be more comfortable when she's always moving around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So everybody has a different mindset on that situation, but like you just explain what you think, but other people think about it differently.
But when we did the episode with Kevin, we were talking about the employees, and they said that there were people that come in with their suit and shoes, and they walk out with sneakers, put on the sneakers, and they walk to work with that because they're constantly walking.
Yeah.
Like, there's no wrong answer. It's just we just like to get the feedback from everybody because that's just it's crazy like how it's making that transition.
Yeah, I could never see someone. I'm actually happy that it's the trainers and not like, you know, your big bulky Jordans. Some guys walking with a nice fitted suit. So the trainers are doing a good job at that.
Yeah.
You know, these guys can actually go to work, wear their shoes into work, change into their dress shoes, and then go about their business and get ready to go to the gym later on that day. It alleviates a lot. So.
Yeah. So we talked a lot about sneakers, which is great. Now we want to learn a little bit about yourself, a little briefly here. So we know you've been in the Air Force, which we do. I know why you're laughing because of the previous conversation at the text. We're not going to say that on film.
It's cool. It's cool. I told you. I just appreciate it.
And you know the crazy part because I was reading it and I forgot to change it on my phone. Either way.
But
Either
yeah.
way. So and we thank you for your service.
No, thank you for letting me serve, fellas. Really.
Definitely. Like there's one thing I do appreciate is people who protect our country, and also like protect us on the streets as well. Like and the policemen, the firefighters, all them. Like it's hard to do, but it's a lot
tough
of people,
job, and I've been in both of them.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's like everyone thinks it's like Veterans Day is like just a day off. Like I really think about everything at that day. Like and what you guys do, it's not easy. Like you risk your lives every day. Doesn't matter. It can happen to anybody, but you have such a higher opportunity, and
we're held at a higher standard. You know, it's not. Sometimes it's not cool to be held. Like sometimes you just wish you can just be like. I'm pretty sure Mike's gonna tell you this. Sometimes you wish you could just not be that person.
Yeah.
Sometimes we wish that we could be somebody else for just one day. You know, like when I was a cop, I used to every day be like, please don't let this be my last day. But if it is my last day, I'm glad I got to do it in the way that I wanted to do it. But it's a tough life. It's a tough transition. Most people up here can't hold it tight up there. You know, but they also the people that don't accept that it's happening to them.
So what made you join the Air Force? Like, what was it that made you go into it?
Like I said, I come from a military family. My grandfather, you know, was in World War II. My aunts and uncles all served in the military. And just my generation of the family, none of us went to the armed services. I actually did it very, very late. I did it. I went to college. I joined the police department. And I was like, I'm gonna join the military. Like, what else can I, do that? Because I've always been a protector my whole life, But as my friends and family started getting bigger and started expanding and going other places, I couldn't be that protector. I've always been that friend like, oh, y'all gonna go drink, I'm not gonna drink, so make sure we get home safe, stuff like that. So I've always been that guy, but on a grand scale of things, I got friends that live in Cali, that live in Texas, that live in Arizona. Like, I can't protect them from home. Yeah. So the only thing I can do is my deed to make sure I protect everyone that lives here in America. So randomly one day, I knew I was gonna join the Air Force, but I was like, I'm joining the military. Didn't know what branch. My dad told me he'd kill me if he joined the Navy. If I joined the Navy. I knew I never was gonna be Marines or Army, so I was like Air Force. I went through that whole process, and it's just been golden. Then I haven't been treated bad enough to say that we're in a bad place or try to downplay or anything. But it's just one of them things. Like, I get bored easy in life, so it was just a new start. So now it'll be a new start too. So yeah, that's probably why I joined. I wish I did it earlier. It's one of them things I don't say I regret, but it's just one of the things I wish I did earlier in life. But everything's playing the way we make it. So I just made the best of it for what I had.
Well, either way, we appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
I appreciate you fellas.
It's crazy because I have a guy, a friend of mine that he's a big Vans head. He's a Vans sneaker collector. Shout out to Chuck. He's in the military as well too. And I talk to him here and there. We talk about Vans and stuff like that. And then I'm like, so he's like, I can't wait to see. He's buying all these sneakers every time, and he hasn't seen them yet because he's serving the military.
That's actually that would actually speaking. Chuck was a great segue to that because when I was in Afghanistan, that's all I did. Like, I would just buy sneakers. So when I went to Afghanistan, it was like drug city for me when it came to sneakers because I was making so much money tax free that I was like, in my head I'm calculating like, all right, I'm taking this much. They're not taking these taxes. So every page had 2-3 pair of sneakers. When I got home, I want to say close to 80 pair of sneakers in a 6-month span because I was buying so many sneakers. Like, I got home and my roommate at the time just was putting sneakers in my room and they were just everywhere. And I said, this is way out of control because it was just one of them things like Chuck was saying, like Chuck is doing, like, it's just sneakers I have I didn't even know.
His
I was like,
wife,
oh, I forgot I bought them. Oh, I forgot. And like, I had nowhere to put them.
yeah, but his wife, she grabs them, sets it up nicely in the sneaker room, takes a picture and posts it up
I
on
ain't close up to have a
Instagram.
sneaker room yet.
Yeah.
My fiance hates that I have so many sneakers. And she has more sneakers than me. Because she's been an athlete her whole life. And so,
she got that.
so her whole
thing,
thing was, if her dad had this little thing, like if she did well, she get a new pair of sneaks.
Mm-hmm.
So she go out and be the best athlete she can be. She get new. But now, even now, she just has so many shoes from just over the years accumulated. She gets mad at me, but mine are all in boxes, so she could definitely store more because she doesn't keep boxes.
Oh, okay, there you
So-
go. We gotta have the boxes, man.
Yeah, I'm big on boxes. I can't resell them by a box, you know?
Resell. It's just the way some of these sneakers come in the boxes.
Briefly tell our viewers, like, I know you have a podcast as well too.
Yeah, the podcast,
So,
New OGs podcast.
Yeah, so just briefly tell them what that is, and then
Like the whole concept.
Yeah, the
of that.
All right,
concept.
cool. My podcast is with two of my best friends, Nate and Les. We all grew up in the same area of Pleasantville, New Jersey. And as we grew older, we all went our separate ways. Nate has his own individual story, Les has his own individual story, and I have my own individual story. The big synopsis behind it is that we're at the top, we're nearing the top of our millennial class. You know, we're like I'm the oldest of them two, but I'm an 87 baby, millennials are at 81. So it's like that 80, I want to say 86 to 81, they're considered still like last generation kids because their outlook and how they were grown up, like they grew up in the 80s, so like they didn't grow up in the 90s.
Gotcha.
So they're still like 70s babies. They would still grow up off the morals of the 70s. We grew up off the morals of the 90s. Like all of our vision, like they seemed like Reaganomics. We didn't see that, you know. Like I'm 87, I believe Les is 89, and Nate are 89. So we actually took, you know, collectively, like we've always been, like I said, good friends, and we wanted to have a way. We feel like this generations under us are misguided. We believe that they came from a place where they aren't loved. So the new OGs was pretty much saying, like, now that our OGs are all older and they have their own things, we're the new OGs now. We have to give the guidance that was given to us to these younger kids. You can see it even in like the sneaker world. The old sneakerheads hate the new sneakerheads. They hate hype beasts.
yeah.
Like they hate guys that go in the resellers. They hate the guys that go buy 10 pair. You know, like, so it was like we wanted to give the knowledge that we had back. These kids' attention span's only this big, so we could grab you for 40 minutes real quick for a podcast. Be great. So, but the synopsis of us is just three guys that grew up in three different styles. As our adulthood, and we're just wanting to give back. Les has his whole branding and everything. He does that. Nate does the whole training. I'm in the military. So we all bring our perspectives together as one. We argue, we do everything like anybody else, but our main objective is giving back to the youth.
I mean, I like it because it's a very raw podcast. Like I like how you guys talk about something, and then like talk about what you guys been doing, and then it just kind of rolls into something else that
like
that's
we don't
somebody.
We have a docket that we have, just like a notepad that we all three of us could edit from on our phones, and we have topics. We might not get to all of them, but it's more of a thing. It's a conversation.
Oh yeah.
And like it's just us hanging out. It's us three. We go to one of our houses and we just record.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff we have to edit out, of course, because I'm not gonna say it's like R-rated or anything, but it's more of just stuff that weren't pertaining to like the topics, like just a lot of fluff or whatever. But it's just conversation. It's just like we're from three different aspects. Like Les has no idea. Like he's the dad of all of us. Like he's younger than me, but he's the dad. He has 3 kids. Nate is newly engaged, new homeowner. I'm engaged also, and like so we just come from like Nate's like ripping and running, doing everything with his branding and business. I'm like just flying around the world, So we all have like different aspects, but we come together and it's like Les knows nothing about the new generation. I know almost everything about the newer generation because I sit in that weird place because I coach football. So I got all these 17, 18-year-olds listening to X, Y, and Z. So I bring a topic up and Les has no idea what I'm talking about because his psyche doesn't root that way.
Yeah.
So he's still stuck in like 90s. So it's perfect because we have 3 different dynamics all over.
Yeah. So and just tell our viewers where you can listen to that podcast.
So we are available on iTunes through the Apple Podcast app, and we're also on Spotify. We try to stay exclusively to Apple because we're all Apple heads, but the Spotify thing came about because we had a lot of people that wanted to listen to us that didn't have iPhones.
Yeah.
So the routing process of getting the Apple Podcast app onto your Android is a lot harder. It's possible. You're able to do it, but we just want to make it easier and just get it out there for everyone. So yeah, you can catch us on iTunes and you can also catch us on Spotify.
Yeah, definitely check them out. It's a great podcast.
You know, we're moving up on. We just finished 18, I believe. Yeah. So like now, episode 19 will be in the mix, and it's just something we do. It's our way of, as men, to actually have some time to vent. Our ladies don't want to hear us.
I know they get involved.
They don't want to hear us. They don't want to hear us. Like you guys are babies. Like, no, we're not. We want to talk too, but we got to listen to y'all. That's so toxic. I'm sorry.
So, basically, before we wrap this up, we just like to ask too as well. What's next for Tone? Like, what are we expecting in 2019?
2019 is going to be a big year for me. It's a make or break year for me. As far as my contract is expiring for the military. So, like I said, the military hasn't been bad to me, but it also messes with my creativity side sometimes. I need time to think sometimes. So this is a make or break year. I have a really big trip coming up for and I'm gonna be 3 months. I'm gonna be in Florida with a possibility of segueing to somewhere across seas. So I have that. Then I have the podcast. We want to really grow our podcast. A couple months ago we went to Morgan. You know, Nate had a speaking engagement, so we tried to stay intact and move our podcast that way too. Nate's actually about to go to Connecticut, I believe, sometime next month. But it's just like we want to really grow this podcast. So my main focus this year is focused on getting everything ready for my wedding. Like, we're way ahead of par, so I want to stay ahead of par. My podcast and just what I'm gonna do if I'm going to leave the military. So I'm trying to think of a B track also, which I shouldn't be thinking of, but it's just a B track I'm trying to have.
You
also.
Just gotta have it. I know you have there's never a B plan for you, but just gotta.
I just wanted something just in case, like I do want to get out, and I could still join and be a guardsman, but I just want to try have a new look on life. I'm really big on like self development and helping the youth. So with that, I'm trying to get into higher ed. So I want to be into like the college life and stuff like that.
Gotcha. All right, so that's gonna wrap us up. Tone, thank you.
No, not a problem, fellas.
Coming
Always
down
a pleasure.
on this. And then this is, again, we're wrapping up episode 5. At the bottom, we're going to put where you can find his podcast through Spotify and the Apple Podcast app. So you can find him there. Check him out. Like, subscribe, comment on his, and also ours too. Let us know what you think of this
like
episode.
and do everything for theirs. Don't do it for me. Do it for theirs. The twins are amazing.
Oh yeah, Instagram.
What is my Instagram?
It's at
my God,
Jesus.
Oh yeah, it's at Tone Chat. Tone Chat. That's the. Hey, listen. I'm not cool like you guys. I don't have people twin dub and Warren. I don't have that. I don't have a twin that I can bounce all ideas. All right. But Tone Chat on Instagram. I'm on Twitter at ToneGoHard365. Twitter doesn't let me change my handle, so that's where it's been for a while. But I'm active on both of them, so I'm pretty active. You can email me or whatever, but I'm more active on social media.
Yeah, the podcast Instagram too, right?
Oh yeah, it's the new.OGs podcast. So you can hit us up on there, but you can find the link also in my bio, Nate's bio, or Les's bio.
And we'll put it on ours too.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
We'll do that. All right, guys. We'll see you next time and for episode 6.
Yeah, and then we're we're at the Goals Gym right now, so we're gonna do a workout with Tone. He's gonna put us in a workout, and then
it's gonna be a killer.
It's gonna be a killer.
A 40-minute killer.
We're still trying to recover from Mike's interview, so.
And plus, Warner's back now, so he will be going.
We couldn't do legs though.
Yeah, we can't do legs.
We couldn't do legs.
I still have.
But we're gonna be doing chest workout. So
and sneaks.
And also,
all y'all should have just been quadruplets.
You know what, Tom?
No, it's a couple thing, man. So
whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
Cute.
I'm gonna thank
me
you.
and my girl got the top 3s.
What?
I still buy her sneakers, and they're the only sneakers we have together. The top 3s.
The top 3s. This is our first.
She hates that I wear my top 3s the same day as her, though.
Yeah.
I do it on purpose. She hates the couple lookalike thing.
We'll do it again. I'll do it up front too, but I want to also thank Jeff.
Yes.
Mortman. Jeff Mortman for letting us film here, and also film the gym. We do really appreciate it. We're gonna go lift right now. and it's an awesome gym. So if you're in the
Veteran
top,
owned.
Huh?
Veteran owned.
Veteran owned too.
Yes.
Veteran owned, which we thank you for your service as well. And if you're in the Totawa area, come to Gold's Gym. It's a great gym, great atmosphere, well set up. It's awesome. Come down and see either Andy or Jeff, and they'll be happy to sign you up and maybe get you a free trial. I don't know if I can say that, but hey, you can talk to them at the desk for that one.
But you'll see how everything's set up. We got our good old cameraman, our little brother Roger. He's gonna do he's gonna be doing a B-roll around this gym and see how it looks. And this setup is pretty cool. And we'll go from there.
We'll put his information too, and the website and Instagram, everything on our bio page too as well.
All right. So
All right.
this is just go smash some weights or this.
Let's go kill it.
We're out. We're out. What, Roger? Done.
Cut it. Cut the shit.
Cut it.
Cut it.
Can
Done.
you sound any more excited?
Cut it.
Please don't.
Can you put these Concords in a box, please? Thank you.
Yeah.